Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for this week. I'm really excited about this video because I feel like there's a lot of stigma around men and women training differently and how you can go about your training so that you're getting the best out of your training and you're getting the best results for yourself. Like I said in the beginning, there's a lot of misinformation in the fitness industry in regards to so many different things. The fitness industry is so opinion based and so broad that depending on the client and the person, things are going to be different for everybody. It's never a one size fits all for absolutely everybody. So I did just want to mention that this video, I'm going off my own personal experiences and the research that I've done myself into the differences between males and females and their training considerations. So if you don't agree with that, then that's okay. This is my opinion. So first of all, I just thought I'd mention approximately 90% of training can be the same for males and females. The 10% difference, there's two differences. One difference is in the physical differences. Obviously, males and females look quite different to each other. I will go more into detail after I've done a little intro to the video. And the second difference is the exercise considerations for that specific person. So there will be slight exercise considerations for males, there will be slight exercise considerations for females. So let's get started. Okay, so first of all, I will be going through the obvious physical differences between males and females. So if you were to put a male and a female standing next to each other, obviously there are some big differences. There's obvious differences, and then there's differences that you probably won't be aware of that really affect your training. The physical differences that you may not be aware of when comparing a male and a female in their physical differences. One big factor is the Q angle. I'll pop an image of what the Q angle is up on the screen now, but basically males and females, their hips and their pelvis are very different. Our Q angle is a lot larger than a male's, as you can imagine. That's where the pelvis is and the hips are. So adding on to this, females' pelvises are actually tilted anteriorly, again, as you can imagine, to prepare to give birth. So this can all be taken into consideration with your training. Some more physical differences that you might not be aware of is that females have a narrower waist than males. So males have thicker torsos and thicker abdominals. Sorry, I'm just reading off my notes because I've done all my research and I am not just gonna fake it that I know everything and whatever. So that's why you'll see me looking down and reading off my notes. Males have thicker torsos and thicker abdominals that supports the pelvis and spine, whereas females don't have that thickness. In saying this, it can be really beneficial for females to train that core. Yes, it's important for everyone too, but especially for females to train your core, get it stronger, thicken those obliques, and strengthen your transverse abdominals. This way, you'll have better support for your pelvis and your spine, getting you closer to what the male's waist is at. So if you're heavily loading a bar, your core strength really needs to be strong in order to do that exercise properly and safely. So building that core strength up is ultimately gonna help you lift heavier. Another physical difference is that we females have broader hips. Again, this one is an obvious physical difference. So yeah, obviously we're made to have a baby. Our hips are wider to be able to fit the baby. Yes, so I won't really elaborate on that. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Anyways, another physical aspect which comes big into play is probably the most important one, and probably the one that you would know the most about, is the hormonal factors. So males obviously have way more testosterone levels than females, which testosterone helps you build that muscle, get that size. Having this testosterone doesn't have much difference. Women just need to be aware that it's going to be a bit harder to put on that extra muscle. It's going to be harder to put on the muscle and easier to put on the fat. Ultimately not really what you want, but that's just the way most of us females are made. So yeah, it's something good to be aware of in the long run if you are training at the moment. I've written down here, women have 2/3 of the muscle mass of men. So if a male's muscle is here, we'll have 2/3 of that amount. And we actually have 2 times the amount of fat. So if this is one fat, we'll have double the amount of fat, and it's a lot harder to get rid of. So there's some considerations physically. A lot of these won't really affect your training. It's just really great to be aware of those things. And do your own research. Like if you're really intrigued, do your own research, find out what's good for you, train your ways and work that out. So the next thing that I will discuss with you guys today are the exercise considerations and differences for males and for females. First of all, I would like to simply state there are no exercises specifically for males or specifically for females. Males can do what females do. Females can do what males do. The difference is how your body adapts to the specific type of training. First of all, women are naturally more quad dominant than glute dominant. This is because if you have a pregnant lady, they're holding the baby on the front of their body. They need that quad dominance and quad strength to be able to hold that baby up. Whereas a male doesn't need as much dominance in the quads because they're not going to hold the child in their on their front. In saying this, again, it's not really an exercise consideration, but maybe if you're really trying to grow those glutes, really make sure you're activating them before your workout so that your quads aren't coming into play with those exercises, and really focus on isolating the glutes out rather than doing a whole leg movement as such. Ladies are more resistant to fatigue. So, bit of science behind this. Basically, there's 3 twitch muscle fibers: type 1, type 2A, and type 2B. I'll pop that up on the screen what that basically means, but all it is, type 1, they don't fatigue as fast. Type 2, fatigue a little bit more, quicker. And type 3, fatigue even quicker. So females generally fall in the type 1, hard to fatigue. Males generally fall in the type 2A or 2B, generally. This means that women can perform exercises at higher rep ranges without fatiguing as quickly as males. So say you had a male and a female in the same room, you got them to do the same exercise, higher reps of their own 1RMs, the female is generally going to be able to perform better in the higher rep ranges. If you were getting a female and a male to perform in the low rep ranges, higher volume, the male will generally perform better as well. Just depends because of the different twitch fibers in the female body and in the male body. So in saying this, an exercise consideration with the twitch muscle fibers is that women don't fatigue as much as men. We can do higher rep ranges. So instead of hitting those 1 to 4 1RMs, it's better and proven that in order to get the results that you are after, build that muscle, you're better working in the 8 to 12 to 20 range. 20 is a bit of a stretch. I stick between the 8 and 12 and I see my best results in that range. So this also, the twitch fibers, relating onto that, it's also interesting because females don't need as much rest between sets as males. So again, the twitch fibers can recoup a lot quicker than the males, and they're able to get straight back into the exercise after doing it. You might not feel as exhausted. In relation to that, recovery for females is a lot quicker than males. So our main hormone is estrogen, males testosterone. Our high levels of estrogen, it actually acts almost like a protein. It is a lot better for recovery. So our estrogen kicks in and we can recover a lot quicker, meaning that we could get more training days in. Our split could be a bit different. In summary, today I just thought I would pop the points up of what I covered so that it's really simple and easy for you guys to implement this into your own training. So in summary, males and females don't necessarily need different training. You're not going to do different exercises. Same exercises, not necessarily different training. Number 2, some adaptations can be made to enhance your training, such as your volume and your intensity. In that, the twitch fibers that I just, that you guys would have just learnt about. So yes, adaptations can be made to enhance the training for a male or for a female. Number 3, all of this is personal preference. As I said at the beginning of the video, this is what's worked for me. This is the research I have done. And in the end, you try what's best for you. Everything is personal preference, and it totally matters what works best for you. Number 4, and the last point that I thought I would make today is to train for your results, not anyone else's. Just as I said before, training is all for you. It's all to get your results. It's not to look at the person beside you, what they're doing. It's about your results. So work out what's best for you and implement some adaptations, try out different things, try out different exercises, different stances that may help you. But ultimately, females and males can do the same thing, and should both be working to better themselves. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you got a lot of information from this video and that you can implement that into your own training programs and your own training. So thank you guys for watching. Lots of love.